Howdy, y'all. Back with part 3 of my 9/11 experience. It was actually 9/11, Tuesday 9/11 through Saturday 9/15. But I'm sure y'all have figured that out by now from watching the first two videos. This is a 5-day journey. Just looking at the itinerary here. Here's the itinerary. Again, this is some of my own work. Yeah, there's the itinerary. Anyway, I left off as we got to the hotel in Cleveland. Great. It's called Embassy Suites. We get everybody off the bus. Excuse me a second. Alright, we're back. We get everybody off the bus. Bus driver is unloading all that luggage into the lobby. Kathy, my executive director, is at the front desk. And the rest of the staff, myself included, we're getting our groups together to get them into their rooms. Kathy pulls me aside and says, "John," she was real frenetic, she always was on the frenetic side. She didn't handle crises very well. And thank God she had me. But I won't go into all that. Some people claimed that I ran that agency, and I wouldn't argue with that a bit. Kathy was the one that could say yes or no about things, but I was the one that actually had to execute everything that was going on. Anyway, so Kathy pulls me aside and says, "John, we've got a major problem. They won't take our check." Now, I had confirmed weeks before with the hotel that they would indeed take our check. But I suppose, like all of the rest of America, they were freaking out like everybody else. We all knew that we were at war with somebody, and the hotel management was freaking out, and they said, "No, we're not going to take your check. We want cash." And we're talking thousands of dollars for all these rooms, 5 days, 4 nights in this hotel with all these people, and they were just freaking out. So, I understand why Kathy was freaking out. And I immediately said, Kathy, let me call Harry." And Harry was our board treasurer. So I called Harry at home, and I had a real fine relationship with Harry. He was a really good guy, truly dedicated and concerned with our agency. Told him what was going on, and he did a wire transfer of the total amount of cash that they were looking for. Fabulous. Took care of all that. I was actually amazed how smoothly it went. Now, thank God I was able to get a hold of Harry. Had I not been able to get a hold of Harry, I don't know what in the hell we would have done, but it all went pretty smooth. All right, we're in the hotel. We start getting everybody into their rooms. And I remember it, by this time it was around 3 o'clock. That's what my memory recalls. And the first thing I did when I got myself and my guys in the room was turn on the television, because we hadn't seen, up to this point, we hadn't seen any, film, any video of what was going on. I mean, despite my little 10 or 15 second view of the TV there at the rest stop on the turnpike, hadn't seen any video. As soon as we got into the room, before I even helped the guys unpack and all, I turned on the television, and what immediately came up was the footage of the second plane hitting the South Tower. And, seeing it for the very first time, my jaw just dropped. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. It just didn't seem real. But then immediately you snap back into your immediate reality, and these guys need help unpacking their bags, and putting their clothing and stuff into drawers and on hangers and shit. I no sooner get the guys settled down than Kathy calls my room and says, "John, we have another crisis. Please come to my room." I asked one of the other staff to watch my guys, went down to Kathy's room, and I remember she was almost like literally just passed out, lying on her bed, and her daughter, who was not a member of our staff, but had been drafted to come along as additional hands, eyes, and ears for the groups, because they were rather large for the number of staff that we had. Anyway, her young daughter, she was a college girl, about 20 years old. She's standing over her, like fanning her mother, and Kathy's lying there just on the verge of collapse. I said, "Kathy, what's going on now?" She said, "I just called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Cleveland Zoo, etc., 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 all these places that we were supposed to go on the itinerary that week, and they're all shut down. They're all closed. What are we going to do?" The city of Cleveland had shut down, just like a lot of most cities across the U.S. I said, "Kathy, let me get on this thing." So I started calling around. I called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I called this restaurant where we were supposed to be having supper a couple of nights later. I called this company that sponsored the dinner cruise on Lake Erie that we were to be taking. I called the Cleveland Zoo. I called Six Flags Over Texas. And I got something of a commitment from each of them that as long as, the situation was under control, they would start opening, their business again as the week progressed. And they just told me, stay in contact with us. We'll keep you posted as to what our status is. And this whole thing, this took maybe 90 minutes on the phone, being transferred to this person, that person, this person, that person, all this shit. And all the time, I'm thinking, just like everybody else, I just want to go home. I want to be home. I don't want to be dealing with this. I don't want to have the responsibility for all these people. And that's not to negate or to say that I didn't care about our folks. But I couldn't help but think in a very personal way, like everybody else, I just wanted to be home with my loved ones. Anyway, so I got all that squared away as best I could, and I went back to Kathy's room to tell Kathy, and she was, of course, greatly relieved. Yeah, if I hadn't have been there for Kathy, and this doesn't even just apply to this trip, but there was a reason why Kathy hired me twice as her assistant. After I had resigned one time, she enticed me back with like doubling my salary and all this shit. Anyway, there's a reason for that. I was a force to be reckoned with. You want something done? Anything you want done, talk to John. And it was funny because in those years, people came to realize that. I mean, everyone from the county people that we worked with in Dauphin County Case Management, Cumberland and Perry County Case Management, the board, the bank, everybody knew that they just kind of bypassed Kathy and would just speak to me directly. Anyway, so I laid that on Kathy that I had gotten everything straightened out as best I could. Good thing was that we had nothing on the itinerary that night except an evening in the hotel, having dinner at the buffet. Okay, great. We can all heave a sigh of relief. In the meantime, that afternoon and that evening, I had called all my folks, my friends, my loved ones, whomever, to tell them that we were in Cleveland. Everything was all right. We were safe. Everything's good. I also spent about an hour calling all the contact people for the members that were on the trip, their personal contacts, whether they lived at home or the group home staff, if they lived in group homes. Contacted everyone to tell them that we were in the hotel in Cleveland and safe. I got to bed that night around midnight, and I didn't sleep very well at all. My guys were up and down all night, going in to take a piss or turning on the TV in the middle of the night to watch MTV and all this like stupid shit that all right, that's that. So I'll pick up in the next video with Wednesday morning. And Wednesday was the day that we were supposed to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've got a tremendous story about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Holy shit. And I'll tell that in the next video. And I've actually also got an extremely, believe it or not, hilarious story about the next day and the next night. So stick with me, gang. Oh, I've also got some more relics from those days of that week to show too as I go along here. Yeah, totally unrelated. Just to keep the comic folks happy. As Mr. Burns as Dracula. And I had him sitting here too. This gorgeous New Frontier Superman figure. Right? Beautiful, right? Yeah. Alright. I'll get back to y'all real soon with part 4. Stay tuned. See y'all later. Bye-bye.